Just because I like fucking you doesn't mean I actually like you. Rich guys and hot guys get cheated on like everybody else. There's nothing to be afraid of. She's just a woman. Discovery trumps disclosure. You lost your edge, she lost the traction. That's how it works.
Live from Philadelphia, your man, Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 443rd edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. It is Thursday, April 25th, 2019. It is good to have you guys in today. As always, we are multi-streaming live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So wherever you are watching, however you are watching, thank you for making the Sharpe reality a part of your daily routine. I don't know why my screen went all funky like that, but I fixed the problem. If you want to comment on today's show, or if you have a question or a comment on today's show, the number is on your screen, 914-205-5356. Again, that is 914-205-5356. That is the number to call to get in on the show. If you block your number, you will not get on the air. I'm not going to hang up on you. I'm just going to let you sit there and listen to the show on your phone. I'm not going to clown people for blocking their numbers anymore. I'm just going to let you sit there on hold until you wise the fuck up and unblock your number. If you want to troll, that's perfectly fine, but you're not going to, there's no more anonymity as far as I'm concerned. I don't watch the chat anymore because I cannot control myself around weak and cowardly people. You guys, or I am complicit in derailing the show. Same thing with the phone calls. If you want to call in and troll, hey, put your number on it. If you block your number, you're not getting on the air. That's all there is to it. We are jam-packed today, gentlemen. I've got GLO, a.k.a. Gaylou Boyle, coming on at 2 o'clock Eastern to talk about sex and the economy. He dropped a lot of knowledge a couple of Thursdays ago when he made an appearance on TSR Live. A lot of guys really, really like that segment. So GLO will be back at the top of the hour. I'm also going to be debunking some proverbs that we've been raised to believe are true, like the idea of karma. What goes around comes around. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You can't always judge a book by its cover, and so on and so forth. And later on, I will discuss the slut versus stud debate and put that to rest once and for all. But I'm going to start with Donovan Sharpe's 10 side chick commandments. That's right, guys. The 10 commandments of side chicks. Now, most high-value men who are in long-term relationships, they usually have a female or two on the side that he's fucking. Side chicks. Side chicks are sometimes a necessary part of life when living the red pill lifestyle. Side chicks provide us with trouble-free, great sex at the drop of a hat when our main chick isn't acting right. Maybe our main chick is on her period, or if we just have the urge to stick our dick in a different vagina, this is what side chicks are for. Now, as useful and fun as side chicks are, they have got to be handled with caution. Because trust me when I tell you, they can and will ruin your life in many ways, guys. I'm here to tell you. Any man who has had a side chick or two in his day knows that there are landmines aplenty when fucking with these broads, myself included. I've had side chicks, I've cheated on girlfriends and all that other kind of stuff, and a lot of times I got caught because I wasn't careful. My side chick got out of pocket, I didn't check her, and she ended up she didn't really turn my life upside down, but she fucked up what was a really good thing for me. Now, before I get started here, spare me with the moralistic narrative. Oh, you shouldn't be fucking other girlfriends and wives. Oh, you should never cheat on your girlfriend or wife. Dude, get the fuck out of here with that. We as men, we are designed to be polyamorous. Okay? We are designed to fuck multiple women. We are designed to put as many babies and as many females as humanly possible. Women, on the other hand, are designed to have children with one man. This is why, and I talked about this yesterday, this is why females who live the slutty lifestyle through her 20s and 30s are more than likely on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, because the female mind and the female body is not designed to be a hoe. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Peter Sellers, you guys, most of you guys listening probably have no idea who Peter Sellers is. Peter Sellers is the actor who played Agent or Detective Jacques Clouseau on the famed Pink Panthers, the famed Pink Panther movies. A Shot in the Dark, Pink Panther, the Detective Clouseau returns. Anyway, Peter Sellers was married to the same woman, I think, for 12 years. And of course, being a big star, he was cheating on her all the time. Fucking everything that moved. He was sloppy, always got caught. Well, eventually, his wife decided, you know what? This is enough. I don't want to be around this anymore. And she divorced him. Well, Peter Sellers, of course, I think he was married 2 or 3 more times after that. Well, at 54 years of age, Peter Sellers died of a massive heart attack. When they found his body, all they found, they pulled his wallet out. The only picture in his wallet was a picture of his very first wife. He had been divorced from her for 10, 12 years. The point is, guys, is that just because a man cheats on his wife or girlfriend doesn't mean he doesn't still love his wife. Women cheat for anything but sex. Sometimes it is because of sex. Women do cheat because of sex. But with women, it's about so much more than sex. We as men, we're simple creatures in this regard. We cheat for sex and sex alone. That's it. I am not saying that you should cheat. If you do, it fucks things up. And I've talked about that before. But if you do decide that you want to cheat, I'm not going to pass judgment. That said, I have compiled a list of 10 rules to follow to avoid having your life go completely sideways on account of a side piece who gets out of pocket. You guys need to follow these rules, follow these commandments as closely as possible, and you will drastically reduce the odds of getting got by the dangerous side chick. So let's go ahead and get started here. Number 1, the first commandment: never, ever meet in town. Guys, this is non-negotiable. Meeting your side chick anywhere close to where either of you lives, no matter how large the city, that is a huge mistake. I don't care if you live in New York City, you live in the Bronx, and she lives in Queens. Drive up to Poughkeepsie and fuck there. Drive out to Chester. Drive out to Monticello. Drive down to Philly. Maybe meet up in Cherry Hill. Do not meet her in town. When you meet her in town, you run the risk of running into someone either of you knows. And if that happens, guys, it is a mathematical certainty that it will get back to your main chick. Okay? It will get back to her husband or boyfriend if she has one, and things only get worse from there, guys. I'm here to tell you, I've experienced this firsthand. Always meet up with your side chick a town or 2 over, and never let her ride in your car. Commandment 1B, never let her ride in your car. Side chicks are notorious for sabotaging relationships, guys. And allowing her to ride shotgun with you is usually the way they do this. Her hair, dude, your main chick could find her hair. Side chicks like to leave lipstick, rings, panties, small jewelry, anything and everything they can think of. Side chicks never want to be the side chick. They want to be your main chick. So what do? To increase the odds of them being your main chick, they try to sabotage your relationship with your main chick. Understand that a side chick is she's not going to play second fiddle forever. She's not going to do that. Eventually, she wants that number 1 spot. And if you don't give it to her, she is going to attempt to take it. Show up in separate cars and make sure that she understands that this is an ironclad rule in your arrangement, and that any deviation whatsoever will result in the end of your affair. Leave it at that. Number 2, the second commandment: no dates. Guys, listen, man. Going out for dinners, going to the movies, or anything else that resembles a date is off limits. Well, why not, Donovan? Well, I'll tell you why. You don't want her getting the idea that you might actually give a shit about her. This arrangement isn't about romance or feelings, guys. It's about sex. It's about fucking. Nothing more. Anytime your side chick suggests going out into the public, tell her that you and her are ordering out and renting a movie. Not only does this keep her in check with regards to the status of your arrangement, it minimizes, this minimizes any risk of being seen in public together. If she objects, cancel the meetup. That's all there is to it. Well, I think we should go to the movies. It's just the movies. You know what? Bad idea. I'll see you next Thursday or Friday or whatever date that you normally meet up at. I've had to do this with nearly every side chick I have banged. Half the time they fall in, half the time they stop calling. That's the way it goes. Number 3, the third commandment. Oh my God. Don't fuck your coworkers, guys. Don't do it. Now, the pitfalls here are obvious, but the main one is that she could end your employment rather easily by filing a sexual harassment claim against you if things happen to go sour. And even if she didn't, you would both know that she's got that ace up her sleeve that she can play at her discretion. She's got you by the balls. Office romances, guys, rarely stay under wraps for very long, if ever. Messing with women who voluntarily play second fiddle to another woman, guys, that's playing with fire as it is. But fucking your coworkers, you are begging for a world of hurt, guys. Yeah, listen, any man who has an affair, any married man, any man with a girlfriend who uses one of his coworkers as a side chick, dude, you deserve what you get, man. I mean, dude, the warnings and the red flags, they've been drilled into our skulls since we were young, in the form of the old adage, never mix business with pleasure. And I'll tell you a quick story. Oh, man. When I first moved to Vegas, I had a call center job, okay? And one of my supervisors was a guy by the name of Eli. Mexican guy, originally from Tijuana, had the thick Mexican accent. This dude was cool as fuck, man. Took good care of me. Says, Donovan, you're a good salesman. I'm going to make sure you make a lot of money. Eli made your boy a lot of cash. Anyway, Eli was married with 2 children. Had a wife and 2 young sons, I think. Well, he ended up having an affair and cheating on his wife with, of course, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, fair-skinned white girl. Now, interestingly enough, this white girl was supposed to be a lesbian, but of course, Eli brought her back over to the dick side rather quickly. And for the record, there's no such thing as a lesbian. All women are naturally sexually attracted to one another because they're women. Women look better, they look good, they smell good, they're soft. It's no secret why women are just naturally attracted to each other. That's fine, that's not nasty, gross, whatever. Eli quickly turned her back into the heterosexual being that she was born to be. Anyway, everything was going great. Eli had the side chick at work, went home to his wife at home. But Eli made a grave mistake. He started fucking another girl on the sales floor. To make a very long story very, very short, what ended up happening is that girl number 2 was feeling tension from girl number 1 on the sales floor. To make matters worse, girl number 1 then threatened girl number 2. So girl number 2 goes to HR and files a complaint. Eli's supervisor came to the rescue and said, hey guys, we're going to squash this. Hey, listen, girl number 2, girl number 1, kiss and make up. If you want, I'll film the whole thing. No, he didn't really say that, but I'm pretty sure he was thinking that. Says kiss and make up. We're going to sweep this under the rug like it never happened. Girl number 1 threatened girl number 2 again, and girl number 2 went back to HR. This time, Eli's supervisor couldn't sweep it under the rug anymore. You want to know what happened? Eli was fired. Girl number 1 was fired. Girl number 2 was fired, and Eli's supervisor was fired. We're talking probably $250,000 in salary. Gone. Eli's a cool fucking dude, but dude, because he couldn't keep his dick in his pants. He made 2 mistakes. He started fucking 1 girl at work. The second mistake he made was he started fucking 2 girls at work. Dude, and honestly, it would have all been fine and dandy had he not fucked girl number 2. Everyone knew he was fucking girl number 1. And Eli was sloppy about it, started fucking girl number 2. Everybody knew it. So Eli was a casualty. I don't care about the 2 bitches. Fuck them. But Eli and his supervisor, I think they had worked for this company for a total of 15 years. Gone. Because Eli couldn't keep his dick in his pants and he was messy. Do not fuck your coworkers, gentlemen. It is never worth it. There's so many men out here who only date their coworkers. Guys, you're being fucking lazy. Quit that shit. The fourth commandment. Use a fake name. Now, this isn't always possible, but it is a good practice to get into. Using a fake name makes it very difficult for her to stalk you, i.e. on Facebook, Twitter, etc., where she could become familiar with the names and faces of your friends and family, right? She can dig into your personal life. She can anything else she might do when she starts catching feelings and begins entertaining thoughts of a long-term relationship with you. The less she knows about your identity, the more easily you can disappear when the time comes. Well, how would we keep her from finding out? How would you keep her from finding out your name? Your name, smart guy. Easy. She doesn't have access to your ID or your Facebook or social media, and she's not looking at your credit cards. By the way, here's another pro tip. I talked about this earlier. Don't let her ride in your car, guys. I said it once and I'll say it again. Don't let her ride in your car. Guys, again, hair, earrings, lipstick. This is all on purpose. She can't get into the glove box, by the way. So listen, she could run your plates, I suppose, to find out what your name is. But why would she have reason to? Be confident when you tell her your name is Donovan and you're good. Listen, a lot of girls in Vegas call me Donovan. Those are the side chicks. Any girl in Vegas who knows of a tall black guy by the name of Donovan, she was never the main chick. She was always the side chick. Here's another pro tip. A cheap throwaway prepaid phone that comes in handy here. You can get the service put in whatever name you want, which further throws her off the scent and reduces her accessibility to you, so long as this is the only number she has to reach you. A coworker of mine, by the way, broke this particular rule, and saying that it cost him dearly is an understatement. The 5th commandment. Oh, this is a big one. The 5th commandment, according to Donovan, as far as dealing with side chicks are concerned, never tell her where you live or where you work. Another story here. Worked with a guy, another call center, another married guy, another supervisor, right? He was fucking this girl, I guess, from another company. And the reason why we knew that he was fucking her is because she'd come and pick him up for lunch. Like, wait a minute, Tim. His name was Tim. Like, Tim, that's not your wife. Right? Like, we all knew, like, again, these guys are fucking sloppy. Listen, sometimes she'd actually show up at random, and he didn't seem to have a problem with it. Maybe because he knew his wife would never show up. Listen, one never knows. Anyway, eventually, the side chick figured out that he was married. That's right. He told the side chick that she was the only one. The side chick thought she was the main chick. When she found out that Tim was married, she destroyed his car. Guys, she busted out his windshield. She broke the mirrors off. She keyed the shit out of her car. She spray painted his car. And then she spray painted his name on other people's cars at the job. My hand to the man, guys. You cannot make this stuff up. She wanted everyone to know who was responsible. So now he's responsible for all that damage. Listen, I don't know how he did that. Maybe, they all knew what the girl looked like. Maybe they pressed charges. I don't know. Telling your side chick where you work is a huge mistake because women just don't handle rejection well, guys. If you tell her where you live, that is an even bigger mistake. I got a story about that later on. Dude, your side chick could show up at your place at any time. Guys, God forbid you're at home with your main chick and your fucking side chick is at the goddamn door. There's no way out of that situation, guys. If your side chick knows where you live or where you work, she has leverage. And a side chick will use that leverage to destroy your life, guys. I'm trying to tell you. Never tell a side chick where you live or where you work. Bottom line. The sixth commandment. As my dog barks at what is no doubt another dog on TV. My dog barks at other dogs on TV. It's funny. The sixth commandment. Always use protection. Now, one would think, dude, well, of course, Donovan, you never fucking raw dog a side chick. But believe it or not, there are a lot of fucking idiots out here raw dogging their side bitches. Guys, dude, things can get pretty messy if she decides to carry the pregnancy to term. There's paternity testing drama, child support hearings, awkward visitations, complications with custody agreements. The list goes on and on. Not to mention, your kid possibly being raised by her slutty ass and whatever beta schlub she cons into wifing her ass up. Gentlemen, it is bad news to knock up a random girl. But impregnating your side chick will complicate your life like nothing else. So unless you are shooting blanks, unless you have a vasectomy, wrap the fuck up, guys. I can't even believe that I had to put this on the list. Wrap your cock, gentlemen. It's not worth it. The seventh commandment. The seventh of the 10 side chick commandments, according to Donovan Sharpe. Do not get attached. Now, before you Captain Obviouses hit me with, well, of course not. This isn't as easy as you might think. You see, what you gotta understand, guys, is that sex with side chicks, that's some of the best sex you'll ever experience. Seriously, think about it. Dick-deprived women, they're experimental. They're insatiable. Dude, any and every kind of debaucherous adjective in between, guys. They'll do it all. She'll dress as slutty as you want her to. Right? She'll channel her inner porn star. She'll let you give her ass to mouth. She'll let you nut on her face. Parking lot blowjob, sex tape. It's all on the table, guys. Believe me when I tell you guys, it is very easy to get caught up in a woman who willingly satisfies your every sexual need every time you meet. Well, what ends up happening is your brain grows more and more addicted to the dopamine rushes. She faithfully delivers with every encounter. And before you know it, now your crazy ass is starting to entertain thoughts about running away together, whatever ridiculous scenario your mind stupidly thinks up, in the midst of a sex-fueled psychosis. All the serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin flooding your brain. You know what? We should run away together. What? Nigga, what? Nigga, you got 3 kids at the house. You got a 401k. What the fuck are you talking about? So how do I not get attached to her, Donovan? Listen, the solution here is simple. Just limit your time with her. Now, it won't be easy to cut back, right? But the less time you spend around her, the less likely you are to get attached. It's as simple as that. The 8th commandment, the 8th of the 10 side chick commandments, according to Donovan Sharpe, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Guys, being ready to walk away at any time, that's standard game application. But it is magnified tenfold with side bitches. If you get the feeling that things may unravel, get the fuck out of there. Guys, females are unstable by nature. So you need to be ready for her implosion at any moment. Now, don't freak out if she starts calling you more and demanding more of your time. That's perfectly normal, and it always happens in the beginning. Listen, you're giving her the D, you're dicking her good, and she wants more. That's part of the gig. Handle it. But when she starts to talk about a long-term relationship with you or getting careless about covering up your affair, guys, hit that eject button and disappear like a fart in the wind. When she starts exhibiting this behavior, guys, it is only a matter of time before she self-destructs. And guys, if you are anywhere near her blast radius, she will take you down with her. Trust me. Speaking of which, I told you guys I had a story about not letting your side chick know where you live or where you work. Good friend of mine down in Vegas, lived in Summerlin, had a side chick and made all kinds of mistakes. Number one, she was his coworker. Number two, you're not going to believe this. He fucked her at his house when his wife was out of town. Number three, he was fucking her 4 or 5 days a week. Guys, bad idea. Because not only do you risk getting caught, you risk getting caught up. Plus, again, fucking her that many times, that gets you both attached. He made this mistake. He made the egregious mistake of trying to end it, but guys, it was too late. Guess what this bitch did? This bitch showed up at his house. That's it. Boom. Like, she detonated everything. He ended up losing the side chick, ended up losing the wife. I don't know what happened after that. Do not tell her where you work or where you live. Do not get attached, guys. The 9th commandment. The 9th of 10 commandments, of the 10 side chick commandments, according to Donovan Sharpe, she better be attractive. Guys, listen, man, cheating is risky enough. Guys, right? It could cost you your job, your relationships, sometimes even your life in the way of child support. 18 years, man. Cheating is high risk, so guess what? The risk better fucking be worth it. Listen, if you stand to win $1 million, guess what? You're going to have to bet a lot of money. If you're going to bet $5,000 on anything, dude, you better make at least 5 figures. If you're betting $5,000, you better make at least 10. Too many dudes out here are risking everything to fucking ugly chick. What are you doing? What, dude, why have your life blown up over an unattractive woman? Taking these steps wouldn't be close to worth it if the chick were ugly. If you're, now, not only this, if your girl finds out that you're fucking a chick uglier than her, God, she's out of there anyway. She's like, dude, this nigga's fucking this fat, ugly bitch. Fuck it, I'm gone. He's not as attractive as I thought he was. The 10th commandment, the 10th and final commandment of Donovan's 10 side chick commandments. This is the most important commandment. Do not get caught. If you're a high-value male, your woman knows that other women look at you. Your woman knows that other women want to fuck you, and sometimes they even know other women are fucking you. She may know you're cheating, but if there's no evidence, her hamster will sweep it under the rug, provided your game is tight. Women who belong to high-value men, they understand very clearly that you're gonna have a side chick or two here or there. Believe it or not, females understand sexual dynamics from a very early age, which means they already have red pill awareness, red pill knowledge without even knowing it. They know that most of the time, men cheat mainly for sex. Yes, if her man cheats, it's gonna hurt her. But in the back of her mind, she knows you're probably not thinking about replacing her with the side chick. She's like, dude, he's not going to replace me with this chick he may or may not be banging on the side. So as long as you don't get caught, she will continue to be your main chick. But if you're sloppy and you get caught, guys, it will cause serious fucking problems. Case in point, Nicole Brown Simpson, O.J. Simpson's late wife. That is the quintessential example of what can happen if a man is messy with his affairs. Nicole knew O.J. was fucking around, guys. How did she know? He's O.J. fucking Simpson. He's 6'2", he's an ex-football star, movie star looks, Hollywood charisma, all the rest of that. Of course he was going to have other women. Nicole knew this, and she was okay with it. Until he started throwing it in her face. Guys, and women can only take so much of this before they take action. Well, this happened to Nicole. After a while of him throwing it in her face, she had had just about enough and fucked Marcus Allen, which led to OJ damn near decapitating her on, what was it, July 13th or June 13th of 1994, allegedly. Females know and understand that as a man of value, you're going to stick your dick in other chicks. Like it or not, they know that this is an inevitable part. They know that this is an inevitable part of life. Say that 3 times fast. So long as you don't fuck your chicks in the bed you're sleeping in, as long as you don't bring home any diseases or fucking get anybody pregnant, she'll look the other way and continue to be your girl. And another thing that really bugs, especially the wives of side chicks. Okay, so he's got side chicks, right? She may or may not know this. Dude, if you fuck around and get another woman pregnant, it's not the same gut punch as it is to men. Oh my God, you got pregnant by another man. No. She doesn't give a shit about the fact that you fucked another bitch raw and got her pregnant. No. What she's thinking about, okay, he's probably going to have to pay child support. That is going to affect my bottom line. So when she is throwing that glass at you, when she's throwing that coffee mug at you, it's not because her feelings are hurt. She's saying, how could you cut into my bottom line, you messy ass nigga? Use a goddamn condom, dumbass. You're fucking with my money. That's what I'm telling you. You guys think I'm kidding around. I'm not saying that there isn't the emotional pain that comes with another man stepping out on you, right? But that women are always thinking about the bottom line. At the end of the day, guys, no strategy is bulletproof, right? There's always a chance that things could get out of hand no matter what you do. But if you follow these commandments to the letter, you will drastically reduce your odds of having your life ruined by a piece of bargain basement weekend pussy wrapped in a decent package. Guys, be sure to catch the Red Man Hotline every Friday night at 8 Eastern on the Red Man Group's YouTube channel. It is a live call-in show featuring myself, Steve the Dean, and one other panelist from the Red Man Group will rotate those. We take calls all night long and answer questions live on the air, so catch the Red Man Hotline every Friday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. On the other side of the break, I'm going to explain why calling a girl a slut for being a slut is not a double standard when compared to men who sleep around. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Details. Well, the math is quite simple on this. When you remove slut shaming and then glorify the acquisition of depreciating assets like expensive clothes, trendy, coffee drinks, and then reward these girls with endless praise, endless attention and validation, the result is these pretty girls willing to do anything to get all of these things, including letting men gangbang them and shitting in their faces. Now, our entire culture, the entire Western American culture, tells girls that it's okay to whore themselves out for designer sunglasses and shopping sprees. Rather, this mentality is a direct result of sluts no longer being shamed, guys. And the sad part is that although the traditional housewife is becoming an endangered species and frowned upon by today's modern women, they all still know and understand that motherhood is the pinnacle of true womanhood. And listen, if you don't believe me, go take a look at Facebook and Instagram, and you will see that all of the attention whores that you see on Facebook and Instagram, they take as much pride trying to convince everyone that they're good moms as they do showing their tits in a selfie. Women will always have the notion of settling down and having a family in the back of their minds because it's what they do regardless of what their Facebook feeds say. Okay, they know the score. Fighting this biology only tamps down these desires, but Mother Nature always wins out in the end, every time. But these porta potty girls cannot have their cake and eat it too. These girls believe they can live this adrenaline-fueled lifestyle, and then, when it's all over, settle down and expect to live happy, fulfilling, normal lives. Well, guess what? Unfortunately for them, it doesn't work that way. Not even close. Girls like this they're like recovering meth addicts who have fried their dopamine receptors to the point where they can't enjoy anything anymore, all right? I speak from personal experience, guys. My ex-wife Darcy was an ex-meth head, and despite having moved to Florida and buying a house on the beach, literally on the beach, taking trips down to Key West. She couldn't get excited about any of it. Okay, she couldn't enjoy it because crystal meth had overtaxed her serotonin and dopamine receptors. So she was literally incapable of enjoying anything good. It was unbelievable. As far as the Dubai girls go, the exotic trips, the expensive hotels, all the posh surroundings and everything else that they've grown to be accustomed to, that will make living a normal life impossible because when they hit the wall, they ain't getting offers anymore, guys. Those dudes by then have moved on to fresh meat. All right, younger, prettier, tighter girls. That's what they've moved on to. Listen, you think these porta potty girls are going to take pride? You think these porta potty girls are going to take pride in enjoying and living a regular life in a regular beat up apartment? After drinking cheap liquor after spending 5 years in 5-star hotels drinking $500 a bottle of wine? Like, it doesn't work that way. Now, another reason girls do this are female celebrities, female recording artists, Kim Kardashian, Miley Cyrus, Kesha. These girls, they like to think they like to sing about popping bottles and getting fucked up all the time, but they don't warn these girls what happens after the high price party is over. All these girls see when they watch this stuff are the bright lights, the high price drinks, and the private jets. And when they get the opportunity to actually live out the fantasies they see in these music videos, guys, they jump at the chance to do it no matter what they have to do. But they never think about the long-term consequences. Ever.
Stairs get exchanged till the tits come out. The good girl disappeared and the nymph come out. That nigga, young me, is who they whisper about. Getting checks made out to the biz account. Count Basie and Sammy Davis, niggas in Paris. Days off in April, but no Ferris. No comparison to the guys that act tough.
Welcome back
just cause they want to rap with their sheets
to the 443rd edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. Follow, add, and like me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I am back on Instagram, so do a quick search for Donovan Sharpe. On Instagram, I am at Donovan Sharpe and the number 1. Let me move my call-in number here. I've decided to... There we go. Excellent. I like my studio. I'm able to sit down or stand up as I see fit. If you guys want to contribute to the show, you can do it. You can do so in one of two ways. You can either do it via Super Chat, or you can donate through the Streamlabs link, www.streamlabs.com/DonovanSharpe1. Again, that is streamlabs.com/DonovanSharpe and the number 1. Big thanks goes out to Javon Smiley, who says, Amazon have condoms for cheap, guys. That's Amazon has condoms for cheap. Javon, listen, as smart as you are, I know you're not a hood nigga. Why are you trying to talk like one, bruh? Amazon have condoms for cheap. Guys, no, bruh. No, man. Javon, you're a smart dude. I've talked to you on the phone before. Come on, man. Clean that shit up. Look, you know what? Let me just run this back. Let me correct it. Shout out to Javon Smiley with the $5 super chat. He says, you can commandeer male contraception on Amazon very inexpensively. Listen, I'm a grammar Nazi. A lot of guys say, oh, you talk like a white boy. I mean, do all white boys? No, I don't talk like a white boy. White boys talk like me. Fuck that. Appreciate you, Javon. I kid because I care. All right, let's talk about a quote-unquote debate. Something that feminists always like to ask. Actually, it's not even really feminists. It's women in general. And that is, why are men who sleep with a lot of girls studs, but girls who sleep with a lot of men, why are they called sluts? The reason they have a problem with this, of course, is because stud has a positive connotation, and slut obviously has a very negative connotation. Now, the reason why this conversation was started in the first place, just want to make sure I can see myself here, make sure I'm looking good. The reason why this conversation started in the first place, this started when women were no longer shamed for sleeping around. And of course, we all know that women are prone to self-destruction when left to their own devices. Wait, hold on. You mean I don't have to be married to have sex with guys? Wait a minute. I don't have to have sex with just one guy in my life? And then, of course, they take it to the extreme. They fuck 50 guys in 50 days. And now look where we are. Anyway, there are there are only two reasons why studs are good and sluts are bad. There are two reasons why studs are admired and sluts are admonished. The first reason number one, is biology. Sperm is cheap, guys. Eggs are expensive. Now, we as men, we can reproduce until the day we die, right? We can, dude, I mean, if we die at 90 years old, we can still impregnate bitches the day before we die. That's just how it is. Women, on the other hand, can only reproduce for a finite amount of time, and they can only give birth to so many children. You see, when human females are born, a female human is born she's already born with all of the eggs she will ever have for the rest of her life. This is why men are designed to be polygamous and females are designed to be monogamous. This is why men commit to women who have only slept with a few men, if any, virgins. And women are attracted to men who have a lot of sexual experience with men. This is just how it works. This, again, I'll go back again. This is why men are less discriminate about females they sleep with. We don't have to carry the baby. There's no physical investment. All we have to do is fuck her raw, we bust the nut in her, boom, that's it. That's our contribution. Women, on the other hand, there is a much higher cost for sex. They have much more at risk. Number one, the one risk is that they can get pregnant. Guys, that's a 9-month investment physically, then another 18 years afterwards. There is so much more at stake for women sexually than for men. Biologically, women have to be more selective because they only have so many eggs. They're not thinking this in the back of their minds, right? Women don't know why they're more selective than men. But one of those reasons is biology. The other reason, of course, is because they can be. Women have far more opportunities for sex than men do. So women can be selective. But biology plays a huge role in that. A woman will never think to herself, you know what? Female biology dictates that I must be selective about the men that I have sex with. No, they're never thinking about that. Girls aren't that smart, at least not nowadays. But it is that biology. Men, we have infinite sperm, so we stick our dicks in anything. Consequences be damned. We're programmed to spread our seed. Women are designed to seek out the best genes. Now, birth control and abortion has completely removed the need to be discriminatory about the men that females sleep with. If there is no risk of pregnancy, if you can just get an abortion, you can throw caution to the wind and fuck whoever you want. You're not going to get pregnant, and even if you do, you can just get an abortion. So let's give away what should be reserved for one man. Pay attention here, because this is the answer. This is the first answer to why are sluts admonished, why studs are admired. Women who act like men should act sexually, that is, sleep around, okay, are just like men who act like women should act sexually, and that is to not sleep around. You understand what I'm saying? So women who are sexually promiscuous and act like men should be, polygamous, polyamorous, they're not good for long-term relationship material. At least not to men of value. Men who act like females should sexually, or, I don't know, voluntary or not, they're not attractive, right? So when women act like men and men act like women, that's what fucks the sexual marketplace up. Women who act like men and men who act like women, guys, they repulse the opposite sex. This is typical. Number two, the second reason that females or sluts are admonished and studs are admired, getting dick is easy, guys. Getting pussy is not. Guys, girls know that getting laid is easy. All they have to be is there and willing. They just have to be a female and be willing, and they get the dick. Getting laid as a man, gentlemen, is extremely difficult. Even if a man's in great shape, drives a nice car, runs airtight game, his chances are still slim, guys. A man who gets laid a lot, guys, he's got to hit on a lot of chicks. He's swiping right a whole lot. I'll put it to you this way. Paul Janka famously had an 11% closing ratio. In other words, for every 100 women he approached, he slept with 11 of them. Guys, if you are closing at a rate of 10%, you are a fucking god. You are king fucking dingling. This is how difficult getting laid is for men. I compare it to baseball. If you are a 300 hitter, meaning that you fail at the plate 70% of the time, you are a Hall of Famer. This is how difficult hitting a major league fastball is. It's the same with getting laid. A man who is a 10, gentlemen, a male 10, will have a much more difficult time fucking a female 6 than a female who is a 5 fucking a male who is an 8 or a 9. Female 3s, 4s, and 5s, gentlemen, will get infinitely more dick than male 3s, 4s, and 5s get pussy. I don't even think male 3s, 4s, and 5s are even getting pussy. The bottom line here, guys, is that being a slut is easy. Girls know it's easy to sleep with a lot of guys. Incidentally enough, this is exactly why the overwhelming majority of slut shaming comes from females, guys. Females know how easy it is to get dick. And I'll tell you something else. No matter how much you know, we as men, we will never know just how easy it is for women to get laid. We may think we know, but trust me, it's a lot easier than even we think. And women know this. It was funny. Devin was talking to one of her good friends, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And she actually had a few in her. She had a few drinks. So she was a little bit tipsy. And I remember, and she's trying, and this is a younger female. She's trying to advise her, hey, listen, man, don't go out there and be a slut. It's not worth it. You're going to fuck up your life. And then I remember later on in the conversation, she was a little bit tipsy. She's like, it is so easy to get dick. You can literally slip, fall, and land on a dick. That's how easy it is. I say all the time, dude, as soon as females step out the door, they're getting hit in the face with dicks in every direction. Damn, Sharon, why you got a black eye? She got hit in the face with like 17 dicks on the way to work. I don't know what to do. A female who brags about all the guys she's fucking, that's like a dude bragging that he woke up and brushed his teeth. Male sluts require time and attention. Female sluts, all they got to do is put their pussy on a platter. They get as much dick as possible. Olo Tomasi famously coined the phrase, or coined the axiom. He said that women are the gatekeepers to sex. Men are the gatekeepers of commitment. Okay? This is why men want more than... Think about this. Think about this dichotomy. What do men want to learn more than anything? How to sleep with beautiful women on the regular, right? This is why Alpha Male Strategies has 500 zillion subscribers. This is why he's got 3,000 patrons. He is honestly, Patreon-wise, financially, he's one of the most successful dating coaches I've ever been around. Because most men, most young men, all they want is pussy. This is what's more important to them. What do women want more than anything? Women want more than anything to belong to a man of value. Right? This is why females who are on YouTube and men who are on, well, not really men. This is why females who are on YouTube that tell women how to get with men of value, this is why they're successful. You don't, listen, you don't need how to be a slut. You don't need a girl teaching you how to get dick, right? Cosmopolitan magazine doesn't teach girls how to get dick. All you got to do be as a female. No. What they teach you is how to keep a good man around. What do men want? We want to learn how to get pussy. That's what's more important to us. It's easy. Think about it like this, guys. It is very easy for women to get dick. But getting a man to commit to her long term, that's the real challenge. And that is exactly why women shame each other for being slutty, but then they congratulate them for locking down a man of value. It's the same with men, only it's the opposite. Men, we know it's easy to date around, and we know it's easy to get a girl to want to marry us because we know that's what they want. But we congratulate each other for sleeping around. But when he says he's getting married, what do we try to do? We don't congratulate him. We try to talk him out of it. Right? And we joke about how his life is over. Men of value don't commit to sluts for obvious reason. They're sluts. On the flip side, women are not attracted to men who want to commit too soon. A man who wants to commit to a female too soon, that is the male equivalent of a slut. He's giving away what's easy for him to give away, which is commitment. Right? So when a woman gives away the pussy so freely and easily, men don't respect her. And when men give away commitment so freely and easily, females don't respect them, right? But when a female abstains from sex, now you've got a little bit more respect. When a male keeps his commitment, when he makes her earn the commitment, he now has her respect. Men are the gatekeepers to commitment. And we should not give that away so freely and easily. Females are the gatekeepers to sex, and they shouldn't give that away so easily and freely. When both do it, it is unattractive to the opposite sex, guys. People are shamed for doing what's easy and bragging about it as though it takes effort. People are praised for accomplishing what's difficult. I'll say it again. Getting dick is easy for women. Getting pussy for men is not. And this is why studs are praised and sluts are shamed. When we come back, I will be joined by Gay Lube Oil to talk about sex and the economy. Stay right there, guys. We'll be right back.
Which is, why do women take relationship advice from sluts? One of the ironclad truths that we preach here in the sphere is that nobody should ever take relationship advice from women, especially not men. And including women. Listen, men or women should never take relationship advice with women. Now, the reasons are obvious, but a lot of men and women always wonder aloud, why are relationships so fucked up? Why are relationships so fucked up? Like, this is what they ask. Well, the main reason is feminism, right? Like, that's easy to figure out if you're a 5%er. But another major reason is that women take a relationship advice from sluts, from women who are perpetually single, from women who cheat on their boyfriends all the time, from wives who have affairs and so forth. You get the picture. Now, it's common sense that you should never take financial advice from homeless people or fitness advice from fat guys. So why do women take women who are clearly fat and homeless? Well, this one's easy. It's because the advice of a slut is easier to follow than the advice of a woman who is in a good relationship. If Christina, mythical girl, is having trouble keeping her boyfriend's sexual attention, the slut will advise her to get on Tinder and start fucking her coworkers to teach him a lesson, right? The woman who's in a solid relationship will tell her to cook him a good meal and serve it to him and serve him that meal in lingerie and some stripper heels. Lingerie, stripper heels, okay? That's sure to get and keep his sexual attention, of course, provided he does not have low T. Now, if she's concerned about the fact that she doesn't spend as much money on her as she thinks he should, her boyfriend, the slut advises her to stop having sex with him until he starts buying her shit and to let him know as much. While the red pill aware woman, and by the way, there's no such thing as a red pill woman, only a woman who belongs to a red pill man. I just want to make that distinction. That woman will tell her that she needs to step up her game to make herself worthy of financial rewards, like maybe him taking her to dinner or whisking her away for a weekend getaway. Guys, being a slut is easy. It doesn't take any work. Listen, all you have to be is a woman and give in to your impulses and temptation. Being a quality woman is very difficult, especially in today's world. And when a quality woman offers sound advice, girls don't want to follow because they're not willing to put in the work, man. Listen, women want these perfect relationships, but they don't want any of the costs associated with it. They want a guy who's 6'4" with dashing good looks, 6-pack abs, 9-inch dick, who's funny, charming, sensitive, caring, masculine, direct, goal-oriented, blah, 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 and the other 74 fucking requirements they have, but they have no idea what it takes to get and keep a man like this. It's just like girls dreaming and wishing they were thin, but they don't want to get up at 5 a.m. and squat. And the thing is, women don't even realize that the reason all of their relationships go down in flames is because they're following the advice that's the easiest to follow. It's easy to follow advice that allows you to give into your whims, guys. It's easy to follow advice that doesn't hold you accountable for your actions. It is easy to be a slut. But when something is initially easy, it is almost always hard in the long run. And when something is hard initially, it is always easy in the long run. And here's what I mean by that. Being a slut will always be easy, even for post-wall women. Doesn't matter if she's 25 or 45, like the bitches Paul Sanabria was talking about. Dudes out here are thirsty enough to fuck either one of them if they want to get laid bad enough. But sleeping alone at night, that's hard, guys. It tells a woman in no uncertain terms that she is not good enough to deserve a man who sleeps in her bed every night. That's a fucking mind job. On the other side of that coin, it is extremely difficult to be a quality woman. Dude, ask my main chick, man. I put her through her fucking paces for nearly a year and a half before I finally decided to commit to her. But as difficult as it is to be a quality chick, the rewards are well worth the effort. And I don't have to be a woman to tell you that life as a quality woman is a lot easier than life as a slut. So if there's any woman watching or listening who are wondering why their last 4 relationships ended badly, my advice to you, other than stop fucking other dudes while you're in relationships, would be to stop taking relationship advice from your slutty friends and seek out guidance from red pill aware men like myself or women in solid relationships at the very least. No, it's not going to be easy to hear. No, it's not going to be easy to do. But if you want to quit cheating on your boyfriend, if you want to quit thinking that all men are dogs or all men are low quality or whatever, you got to start getting your advice elsewhere. That's how it is.
Welcome back to TSR Live. Good to have you guys in today. On a Thursday, it is April 25th, 2019. Guys, be sure to send me your show ideas. Let me know what your show requests are. Tell me what you want me to talk about. If you come across an article, a blog post, a video, something on social media, anything and everything Red Pill related, send them all to tsr@donovansharpe.com. Again, that is tsr@donovansharpe.com. Remember, you guys drive the bus here. Later on today, I'm going to be releasing exclusive content on Patreon. My first video is going to talk about how to tell your girlfriend wants you to go backdoor. And on the archive side, I'm releasing the first of 3 undercover slut tell videos from Donovan's Den that were erased when I lost my YouTube channel last April. Big thanks goes out to Miami J, a.k.a. Latino Manosphere, with the $2 super chat. Says, respect, my friend. Absence to end soon, so that's very good. Miami J is not dead in Venezuela somewhere. Thank God for that. Motorcycle Harry, big thanks to him with the $5 super chat. He says he's going through genuine heartbreak today. This show is therapeutic. Thanks. Heartbreak sucks, man. Bro, listen, I know how you feel, man. It fucking sucks. But hey, listen, sometimes going around the fire means going through it. Trust me. Last super chat here. Miami J with the $5 super chat. He's upping the ante here. Says, Donovan, when you come to SoFla, Kyle Mitchell and I are taking you to the Kratom bar. That actually sounds pretty goddamn good because I am a Kratom addict. I'm a Kratom. My next guest is the most upvoted commenter on the now defunct Red Pill subreddit. Goes by the name Gay Lube Oil. That is GLO for short. And I know a lot of people are like, Gay Lube Oil, what are you talking about? That's just his name. Actually, GLO, if you would, before we get into what you want to talk about today, which is sex and economics, why did you pick the game? Why did you pick the name? Why did you pick the handle Gay Lube Oil? I think that's quite interesting.
I think there are a lot of reasons. One, it was a steroid joke. I thought that was funny. People were smuggling steroids into Australia as Gay Lube Oil. And there's a larger point where if you want to do anything traditionally masculine, you know, you're masquerading as something, let's say, subversive or degenerate. So you can sneak in trad masculinity on one hand. On the other hand, there's a lot of people who will try and be alpha with their username. And I wanted to give a big fuck you to that.
Gotcha. Oh, I like it. So, you know, instead of Alpha Chad 6475, he said, fuck it, I'm just gay lube oil.
Yeah, something that really bothers people right away. That way I have to earn my credit.
Wow, very good. Little bit of red pill knowledge there. All right, GLO. You wanted to talk about sex and economics. What were the elements that you wanted to talk about in terms of sex and economics today?
Okay, so I used to work in a mouse lab. We did experiments on mice.
Okay.
When I was getting my biology degree. And so if we have a mouse colony, let's phrase it like this. Let's say there's a farm, and this farm has, I don't know, 1,000 cows.
Okay.
Those cows are fed, and they shit, and they produce a certain amount of waste. Now, if you're going to have a certain amount, that waste and that food mixed together, that refuse is going to feed a certain population of rats.
Okay.
And let's say one day we move the cows, we sell the cows, so the food supply decreases. So the rats are going to fight. Right? So the food economy decreased, they're going to fight. And they're going to have less sex too, because there's going to be a shortage of food.
Sure.
And there's going to be more competition. Now, if I was to go to my research advisor and say, okay, I want a colony of rats and I'm going to decrease their food and I'm going to see if they're going to start having less sex. Like he'd be like, you know, like, go fuck yourself.
Right.
Like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. But within the manosphere, I've yet to read an article that ties the economy to sexual supply and demand.
Oh, wow. Okay. And because you haven't seen anything like that, my guess is that that's what you're going to do right now.
Right. And this is a really basic concept in a lot of sociology. Okay. I mean, tying sex to the economy.
Okay.
But most of the manosphere comes from this Anglo-individualist standpoint where they focused on their penis and only their penis. And so they don't understand how what's happening to them is part of a larger structure.
Gotcha.
So if, let's say we go back to the rats and there's less food and the rats are fighting, right? And I don't know, there's one rat named Mickey and the other one named Squeakers, and they're fighting each other because Squeakers took Mickey's food. Now, Squeakers could very well be an asshole.
Right.
Maybe, as far as rats are concerned, he's a dick. But the real cause of it is the shortage of food. So the economy is the cause, and then the fighting is a symptom.
Okay.
So in a very similar fashion, let's say we look at my generation, the millennials.
Okay.
That growing up, they experienced an economic boom, both of the tech boom, and I think that 2003, when all the housing prices went up.
Right. That was the start of the housing bubble.
Right. So all of those women, when they look for a man, they expect you to provide that amount. But the economy as such, where the amount of men who can provide that is far, far less.
Okay.
And so what happens is these women are perpetually disappointed because they're expecting, you know, what was in the 90s. They want a recreation of their childhood,
right?
Maybe for their future children,
right?
But it's not going to happen. Maybe it'll happen, you know, in a select few cases, but the supply of those men has far dwindled.
So I guess what you're saying is that so it sounds to me like you're saying quite simply, the better the economy is, the more sex people have. Does that sound about right? I mean, listen, if we take it to the extreme, let's go to Black Tuesday, October 29th, 1929. Black Tuesday, the depression hits. There probably wasn't a lot of sex going on.
Right. And so this whole feminism, lesbianism, all of that, we could say that's a symptom.
Okay.
Because there are less men who are eligible economically in those women's eyes.
Wow. See, I didn't mean to cut you off. This would give, and listen, I know that you and I are lockstep in that we understand that game trumps all. It doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't know how to handle women, you're not going. Listen, looks and money and muscles, that gives you more opportunities with higher quality females in terms of looks. But if you don't have the game, you're not going to be able to keep them around. And so a lot of these guys would say, all right, GLO, if you're the, game trumps all, then what's with this, the better the economy is, the more sex we're going to have. So basically you're saying that rich guys are going to get all the pussy, right? What would you say to guys like that? Because I've actually been asked that before.
Well, okay, what they need to understand is that, well, first off, that PUA game of,
Right.
let's say, 2003,
Yeah.
with Paris Hilton thong coming out, like, shit is much harder now, right?
Oh yeah.
Like if we use let's use blackjack as an analogy, right?
Right.
If you count cards, sure you can win, right? But we could say that dealer wins on 21 if
Okay.
you tie,
Okay.
right? But then as the economy gets worse, we could say, oh, dealer wins at 20, dealer wins at 19. And anyone who knows gambling knows that those percentage points really cut into your ability to win.
Okay.
And so that's what's going to happen. How good that game is gets worse. Yeah, you could still win that game,
Right.
but your chances have decreased because that middle class has slid. The other thing is a lot of women in the middle class slid into the lower class. Now, back in the 60s, you could fuck a lower class girl, no problem.
Sure, of course.
Right? She's a daughter of a mechanic.
Right. Yeah.
But now, you have a college education, she's a daughter of a mechanic, whatever. Right? Now all of those women are completely undateable because they're obese.
Right.
So the middle class is getting cut, and then the lower class is becoming obese. So they're no longer an option. So now you're getting a greater scarcity of women. So my argument is it's where you play the game.
Okay.
Like it's what casino you go to.
That makes a lot of
Right?
sense.
So-
So when you say, so when you tell guys, okay, listen, it is where you play the game, it is the casino that you go into. So what casino, as it were, should men go to in order to, I guess, maximize their odds of winning blackjack?
Okay, like Colombia.
Okay.
Let's say you go to Colombia.
Yeah.
They're all poor there. They're hot.
Yeah, they're
and
poor, hot
they
women.
They make $1,000 a month, and you make $5,000.
That would be a
okay.
good casino to walk into.
That's a great casino.
Okay.
And then, like, what do you get for your time and effort? The return on investment is much, much higher.
Wow.
Whereas what I'm saying, the U.S. is not a good casino anymore.
No.
So the quality of the casino has decreased. So maybe it's time to move to a different casino.
There we go.
Or, Roosh went to Eastern Europe. Okay, maybe that place, I bet it's sliding. I mean,
Sure.
I haven't taken a look, but so I would say that they would say, okay, game trumps all. Or if we start talking about card counting, we'd be like, okay, it's about remembering your number. It's about keeping your count.
Right.
Sure. But if it's important to play the game at the correct casino,
Right.
because the other thing you have to understand is that there are certain cities that are male heavy. So there are more men than women.
Right.
I think Washington, D.C. is one of the worst.
Oh, dude, DC, listen, man. DC is a sausage fest. And when you have a sausage fest in a particular city, when men outnumber the women, I think it's like 2-1 out there, the women act like they're the best casino. They become more selective by virtue of the numbers.
Right. So, you're not like, so DC is not a good city. There's a lot of cities where they attract a lot of men because there's a lot of opportunities for men, and then the women kind of stay in the suburbs. So the ratio of the city of men to women is really, really important. I think casino picking is
Listen, I get it. Casino selection, GLO, that's key. Because you could have the world's tightest game, right? And listen, love him or hate him. Listen, Roosh is a good friend of mine. I know he's very polarizing, but Roosh has got fucking game. You want to know why Roosh was able to go around the world and bang broads from all kinds of countries? Because Roosh grew up in the DC area, man. Like, that was baptism by fire. I cut my teeth in Las Vegas. Bitches out. Listen, if you don't, part of the reason why I slayed out in Vegas is because, of course, I picked up on the game very quickly. But another reason is, I guess, to go along with the casino, that was a very good casino for me to be in, pun intended. Dude, in the city of Las Vegas, GLO, and I know that I'm sure you've been there plenty of time, dude.
Yeah.
There are girls everywhere. Not only that, there are dude. Every 15 minutes, there's a new plane full of girls landing in Vegas who have never been there before from all over the world. That would be a very good casino to play in. So, in other words, what you're advising men to do is, listen, you have to brush up on your game, get in shape, stack paper, learn how to handle women, but you can't, like, you have to choose your weapon carefully, choose your casino carefully.
Right. And you know, we really focus on the game, but I really think there needs to be more focus on choosing the casino.
Wow, very good, man. And it's funny because a lot of guys would be like, well, you know, if you run game, you should be able to run it anywhere. If game is so universal, it would work on many women. Oh, no. Running game on women, dude, running game on a woman in Las Vegas is going to be much easier than running a game on a woman in San Francisco, right? Not only are the ratio advantages in favor of women, that is SJW headquarters. Dude, you could be hit. Dude, if you even say hi to a woman on the street in San Francisco, dude, you might be #MeToo. So, in your experience, what are some of the best casinos? You already said Colombia is already one great casino. They're poor, hot girls out there.
Like, okay, it's about places where the girls are poor, hot, and there's a shortage of men.
Okay.
And because those men move to the cities for the few jobs that are available.
Wow.
So whatever fits that formula, it comes. It's not a binary of got sex or didn't get sex.
Sure, of course.
Right.
Sure.
It's you have a certain SMV, so that's your budget, and what kind of girl can you buy for that? What am I getting for that? Right.
Right.
Sure, you can get laid in San Francisco, but
your return on investment is not going to be that high.
You know, it's like a heavily used vehicle or something, right?
Right. I got you.
So I guess that's the first part of, you know, this whole thing. The second part of this is, how does your woman's specific job affect her psychology?
Ooh.
Because everyone ends up being their job.
And when you say what is a woman's specific job, this is the place that she is employed by. The way she makes money. Okay.
So she's going to adapt to those norms. So what happens is, you know, sure, out of college, they're all giggly and feminine, right?
Right.
But let's say she spent 10 years working as a teacher.
Right.
Now she has some rigid system that she's going to be putting you through.
Ooh.
Right?
Wow.
Like, a woman's job can definitely ruin her.
Oh,
I mean,
you better believe it.
The manosphere is kind of sex obsessed. They'll say, oh, okay, what's her end count? Okay, sure. Yeah, that's important. But on the other hand, there are jobs that will ruin women. She can have a very low end count, but because she's some kind of rigid administrator, everything's by a system, her soul has been sucked out of her.
Oh, yes.
And you will see how it ages her. Like, it's like they become kind of rigid. It's just a complete game over.
I'll actually give you, listen, I'll go you one further. I've actually talked about this many times. one of the many ways that a female's job can ruin her are females who work in high stress, high earning women, CEOs, executives, doctors, lawyers. Here's the thing, GLO, climbing up the corporate ladder, you can't be feminine. You gotta be a fucking killer. You gotta be fucking cutthroat. So let's say a woman's been climbing up the corporate ladder. She was giddy, all giggly and feminine coming out of college, right? She's 24 years old. She's fought all these battles. She finally gets to where she wants to be. GLO, she's forgotten how to be a female because she's had to resemble, she's had to become this masculine version of herself, so much so that she literally forgets how to be a woman. A consultation, a client of mine. Dude, right now he's banging she is a red hot smoking redhead. She's 34 years old. She's in the CrossFit, beautiful body, awesome tits, all that. But she was a Marine for 10 years. And because she was a Marine for 10 years, she literally walks like a man. Right? And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I want to get your take on this. The more money a woman earns, the more power and influence a female yields, the further she shrinks her pool of potential suitors. Because women don't want to date laterally. They don't want to marry laterally. They don't even want to fuck laterally. They want to date up. They want to marry up. They want to fuck up. They might not always fuck up. They might fuck down, but they're gonna make sure that nobody knows that she's fucking down. So what do you say about high female earners who shrink their pool of potential suitors?
I mean, I would say, look, there are a lot of jobs that don't pay well, but are high stress anyway.
Ooh, okay.
So, it's not necessarily the money. I mean, there's a lot of, women who get paid a lot to do nothing. Sure. And I'm sure they're still kind of feminine.
Sure.
On the other hand, I just feel like if you're dealing with those very structured women, like a teacher or like a nurse or something, right? So now you get treated like a child or a patient, and so any kind of there's this general structure. It's a corporatist structure where there's a feeling like there's the rules, and then you lose points for breaking the rules.
Right.
And so all that ambiguity, all of that romance, all that fun, she's gonna put it in her rigid system and just suck the soul out of it. Where you'll say something, oh, that's inappropriate. Well, it's inappropriate at work, but you're not at work.
Right. Yeah, you're home with me.
One of the things that I've always thought about for a long, long time is that when I got into college, all the freshman girls, 18, 19, they were hot, they're spontaneous, fun to be around.
Right.
Right? Girls right out of high school. Okay. And some of these girls got dicked a lot, but some of them didn't. But in 2 years, their psychology completely shifted. And so it's it wasn't the dick. It was them getting pulled into this system.
Huh. Wow. I've never thought of it that way.
And so, because I've been in personal training, and when I'm around girls who went to college, a good university,
right,
versus women that didn't, there's a huge difference in how they think. And it's not a dick difference. I mean, maybe the community college girls actually got more dick, where it's not about how smart they are.
Okay.
It's the software they're running.
So in looking for, not that I would ever advise men to go out and look for women, but what is the in terms of the best, in terms of the ideal situation, what are some jobs? What are some, because we talk about red flags all the time. If she was a flight attendant, that's a red flag. She's a slut. If she works in a kitchen, she is definitely a slut. If she works as a waitress, she is absolutely a slut. We have those slutty jobs. Stay away from these girls.
I think traditionally feminine jobs, whatever those are,
right,
where she can still be feminine.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know, maybe working at the mall at the little, maybe a perfume spritzer, a makeup artist. I don't know, a hairdresser, right?
Well, something that's silly and still feminine.
Okay.
Because she's just, I was talking about this with my friend the other day. Any structure that you put on her in a relationship, oh wow, she's really gonna flip ass. Right. But if her boss does the same thing, sure, I'll work late.
There you go. Ooh. It's interesting. I've actually had conversations this is a long time ago before I even found the red pill, is like it's almost like we almost figure it out. If you treat your girl like your employee, she'll treat you better because she never doesn't do what her employer tells her to do, but she's always telling you what she's not gonna do, right? You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, like I wouldn't say you want to kind of pull it out of that context. Right. Like I think it's really important to, even better than treating her like an employee, like there has to be a structure that's not corporate,
right?
Where like there's ways to get your woman to do what you want by constantly making jokes. Like you never formally imposed anything, because when you formally impose, then she can fight back. But if it's a joke that's not a joke, like
I'm only half kidding. That means I'm not really kidding.
Like, if your girlfriend doesn't shave her legs, you say, who's my little caterpillar? Who's a little, are you? And then she's like, are you making fun of me? And you're like, maybe. No, you're just a little caterpillar today.
Yeah, right. Like, it's like, if sandpaper. If I wanted sandpaper, I'd go to Ace Hardware, right?
Right. Oh, I didn't know I was at the hardware store. Look at all this free sandpaper.
That's fucking great. Oh, that's great. See, I need to learn stuff like that because I'm so rigid. Like, dude, Devin knows Devin's, and fortunately for me, she's not really a hairy person anyway. But, if I were to feel her legs and I were to feel stubble, to me, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, get your ass in the shower and fucking go shave. I would have never thought, oh, my little caterpillar. That's fucking brilliant. I love it.
For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction, right?
Sure, of course.
So if you punch a wall, the wall punches back into you.
Yeah.
So if you put rules on her, that gives her shit test material of how to rebel against those rules.
Ah, wow. I never thought about that because I have a lot of rules.
So I know there's like, there has to be some rules. Like, if you go to a feminist event, anything, like don't talk to me.
Right.
Like, I'm not interested. But on a lot of subtle things, like, okay, like I'll give you an example. Like in the US, there's no signs in the US like don't use the N-word. Right?
Right?
I mean, that's not officially. There's like, oh, by the way, this is an N-word.
Don't use the N-word, right?
Right? But it's still a rule that's imposed socially.
Sure, of course. Enforced, right.
Right. So that's the model.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Wow.
There's no, oh, by the way.
Kind of can't use the N-word, right? Oh, by the way, in case nobody told you, the N-word, not really a good thing in this part of the country.
Right.
That's fucking great.
So you want to impose it kind of culturally as opposed to formally, because formally then you're going to get that, Declaration of Independence rebellion.
Wow, dude. This is why I like having you on, because the way you think about stuff is so abstract. So let's get back off of the N-word and get back off on the shaved legs. If you say you must shave your legs at all times, if she ever gets pissed at you, how is she going to rebel, GLO? She's not going to shave her legs. But if you make fun of her, oh, you're my little caterpillar today. Oh, I didn't know I was at the Home Depot. I didn't know I needed sandpaper today. What the fuck? She can't really rebel against that. She knows you don't want it, but if you don't impose it in such a way that just like you said, if you punch the wall's going to punch back. She can't really rebel against something you're half kidding about.
Exactly. So if you say the caterpillar thing, she gets angry. She's an angry caterpillar. Like the joke does not end. It's ongoing.
Oh my God.
And then if she shaves her legs, you're like, oh, look, you're not a caterpillar. You're a beautiful butterfly now.
That's fucking great.
And they're like, caterpillars become butterflies.
Right, she'll be like, fuck you, and then she'll suck your dick. This was great.
So the less, you want your power. Okay, here's a good example.
Okay.
Two corporate structures, IBM, right? Okay. IBM used to have a thick book of rules in the 60s. Mm-hmm. The shirt you're wearing, like everything by the rules, right? So that's like a modernist structure. Okay, if you go to Google, there's no rules.
Right.
They're like, welcome to Google, and like do whatever you
Purple
want,
hair,
and
and
like,
we're
eat
all
some
free.
candy.
Right.
Right. But there is a secret unspoken book of rules that you're never allowed to break. Like there was, James Damore, right?
Right.
And there's a corporate culture. And if you go against this unspoken culture, you're fucked. So the thesis of all of this, to summarize it, is you want to be Google powerful. You don't want to be IBM formalist powerful.
Wow. And I think I am more IBM than Google, GLO. I really do believe that. And I've never thought about how that could hurt me until right now. And it makes all the sense in the world. Listen, this isn't to say that you have to be completely Google, right? And just be just no IBM. But at the end of the day, who's the bigger and more successful company right now? It's Google, right? People, I remember IBM, when I was a kid, IBM used to be the job of all jobs. If you worked there, you would never be employed. Dude, Google, if you work for Google, you're set, right? Google has people beating down the doors to work for them. Not the case with IBM. People don't want that. And don't get me wrong, people want structure. They need structure, but they need that unwritten structure. They need those unwritten rules. You can dress the way you want at Google. That doesn't mean you can come dressed wearing nothing but a T-thong as a guy, right? That is obviously and it doesn't say that in the Google handbook, but again, it's that unspoken rule. And so the unspoken rule tends to wield more power than the spoken written rule, staring down the nose.
Right. So Google is more powerful right now because it's the correct structure for men and women right now. So everything has to be, I'd run everything as a Google. I mean, Google does have some rules, like, you can't show up in a Borat thong, and they'll have some basic rules, but you really want to keep those to a minimum because every rule is a place where she can rebel.
Wow, very good, man. GLO, once again, man, you came on here. Every time I talk to you, I learn something. And you and I, man, we've had extensive phone conversations. I remember when I had just moved to Reno, when I just moved from Vegas to Reno. I think the first time you and I talked, it was for like 2.5, 3 hours, man. So I always learned from you. I wish you had a blog, or I wish that, are your Red Pill Reddit posts anywhere? Are they gone forever or what?
I mean, no. The Red Pill Reddit is fine. You can look them up. It's like, I'll send you the link to that.
Please do.
But I like like Google, I like to be unstructured so I can come in, impress you, and then disappear into the cyberspace.
Oh my God.
That's my strategy.
Very good. He is Gay Lube Oil. He is going to send me the link to his posts on the Red Pill Reddit, and I'm going to include it on the link to this video if you don't mind. Is that good with you?
Perfect.
Excellent. GLO, ladies and gentlemen, or GLO gentlemen, I will put that link in there. GLO, as always, thank you very much for making time for me, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Gay Lube Oil making another... Dude, and it's so interesting. I am such a totalitarian dictator that I never even thought that way. I've never, ever thought about that. Now, on the flip side, Devin is not someone who would work well at Google. Devin needs structure. She needs those rules, but by the same token, there are some things that I could probably maybe push to the Google side and take away from the IBM side. I've never, ever thought about that. Big thanks to Lewis Key. Lewis Key, man, I haven't seen you in forever. With the $5 super chat, he says, my favorite type of game, psychology. Lewis Key making an appearance. Holy shit, man. I haven't seen you in forever, man. I appreciate that super chat. I'm Hotep Hook with the $5 super chat, says random but relevant thought. To say that black women run America is like saying that a field mouse can kill a barn owl. Who in the hell is out here saying that black women run America? I probably have black women in my chat right now talking about how they run America. listen, bless their hearts. If they want to think that, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to sit here and go off on a 5-minute tangent on why black women don't run America because it's so obvious. If they want to think that, cool. Hey, y'all do you. Listen, it's your world. The rest of us are just paying rent. I promise you. We're going to end the show with debunking a few myths masquerading as proverbs. We round third and head for home right after the break. Now, I saw a video, or I saw a posting on Facebook by a woman. I guess she goes by Shalana Hokage Jackson. It's actually posted a couple days ago, so I guess I'm a little late to the party. But it's a picture of a black man who also happens to be a Navy sailor. And the caption on this particular posting says, quote, Navy sailor Curtis Adams was just killed in San Diego. He got out of his car to help a stranded motorist, and the motorist opened fire on him. I don't see this in the media, so rest in peace, sailor. Was, of course, the fact that a black man was shot and killed, presumably unarmed. But something inside me told me to dig a little deeper, not because of what was said, but because of what wasn't said. So I dug a little deeper, and I found some things out, which I'm going to share with you guys right now. So my response to the video, or not to the video, to the posting was, quote, the shooter was Brandon Acuna. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the shooter was Brandon Acuna, a Hispanic man with a long criminal record who was trying to steal the car. Yes, I continued. It is a tragedy that Curtis Adams was shot and killed, but the way the original poster characterized this post insinuates that he was killed by a racist man who opened fire on Adams because he was black. The comment, quote, I don't see this in the media, implies that the media did not report this because Adams was black and the shooter was white, as if they intentionally covered up the story to protect the white man from public persecution. I will say it again, this is a tragedy. But when people leave out details on stories like this, it makes and keeps the black community angry for the wrong reasons. Next time the original poster, the OP as I put it, should either tell the whole story or include a link so that people will be privy to all of the details, rather than an obvious intentional mischaracterization of the events. The original poster knew what she was doing with this post. Of course, I was met with all sorts of pushback. Jocelyn Williams says, how did you get that out of this post? I didn't read where she mentioned a white shooter. Let me go read it again. My response was, she didn't have to mention a white shooter. All she had to do was leave out the race of the shooter and the circumstances. The fact that the soldier was black, I continued, automatically causes most people to assume that the shooter was white. That is how I got that out of this post. You don't have to spell out your intentions for them to be obvious. Didn't hear from her again. Sharon Green responded, sir, you are the only person who mentioned race. I think your guilt is your ignorance and issues. Be blessed. It's funny. I love how these angry black women always like to say be blessed at the end, as though they are somehow at peace with the world, and they're not angry with what you said. They're not angry in general. These are bastions of sage wisdom that they are trying to impart upon me. You are a racist fuck, Donovan Sharpe. Your guilt and ignorance and issues. Please be blessed, because I'm not angry. This reeks of a Iyanla Vanzant, how she tries to come off as this peaceful sage who is holier than thou and is not burdened by the weight of the anger on her shoulders. So anyway, I responded to her. I said, yes, I did, because I saw the OP's intentions. The race of the shooter does matter, especially when we are talking about the shooting of a black man. And you know it. Then I added, for good measure, good try though. Then Caroline Padovano says, all you had to do was read the article to find out the details instead of just reacting to the headline. This is exactly what I was talking about. I said, I did not react to the headline. I did what people should do and look up the story. But as we both know, I continued, most people are too lazy to just Google the story and they react to the headline. This kind of bullshit is exactly how the media keeps us angry for the wrong reasons. And then not 10 minutes after I posted this, Amanda Nunez or somebody posted in response to this, and I'm quoting, it says, so per my post the other day,
referencing always trying to help. I don't ever mean on the side of the road. I'll post for the battle in ignorance, though I believe in magic. I'm well aware that my melanin is considered a weapon that must be shot down. Then she continues, do not help white strangers on the side of the road, especially as a black man alone. This is so sad and so infuriating. Do not, I repeat, do not get out of your car to help unacquainted white folks. Sorry, not sorry. Guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I was referring to when I referred to this post. The original poster, whatever her name was, Sharon, let me go back to it here really quickly. The original poster, Shalana Hokage Jackson, okay? And you guys, listen, man, I don't give a shit what you guys say. You guys can say, well, that's not what she really meant. No, fuck that and fuck you guys. When black people post things like this and leave out details that would otherwise, how can I put this? When we as people, when we as African Americans, when we post stuff like this and we leave out details that would otherwise fail to stoke the racist flames that we have here in America, this is how we and the liberal media keeps us angry. All we will
Last night, I wanna feel your love one more time. And even if it's the end of everything, nothing can take the memory. Oh, one last
Welcome back to
night,
the 443rd edition of TSR Live.
more time. And even if it's the
Good to have you guys in today.
nothing can take.
Next week is a big time week. I'm normally on the air Monday through Thursday between 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern. I am going to do 5 shows next week, Monday through Friday. The reason for that is because Saturday, I will be flying to Orlando to speak at the 21 Convention Patriarch Edition. I'll probably do a couple of live streams from on location. So I'm going to be on the air 5 days next week. Why? Because next week is going to be, and I don't really know what to call this week, but next week is relationship week, right? I think I've already had it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this could be another long-term relationship week. Next week, gentlemen, I am going to take you from start to finish in terms of building a red pill relationship with a woman of potential value. I'm going to take you from start to finish. And again, these are all going to be things that I have done in my current relationship. A lot of guys say, how in the world does Donovan, how did he train Devin? She wears hoops and heels every time they have sex. She makes meals for him. She does whatever he says. She says, yes, sir, no, sir, right away, sir. She does whatever he wants, when he wants, and how he wants. I am going to tell you, I'm going to teach you guys step by step every single day how I got from where I was with Devin to where I am with her right now. Monday, I'm going to talk about the vetting process. This is one of the most important elements in terms of selecting a female. So Monday, I'm going to tell you how to vet your woman. Tuesday, I'm going to talk about training, boundaries, and expectations. I'm going to teach you how to train your woman. I'm going to teach you about setting boundaries and expectations, how and when to punish and reward your woman. Wednesday, we're going to talk about sex. I'm going to answer the question, does size matter? I'm going to tell you whether or not you really should give a shit about her needs in bed. I'm going to teach you how to dominate a woman in bed. I'm going to tell you that you'll never be the biggest or the best she's ever had in bed, but you can still be the best she's ever had. Thursday, I'm going to talk about maintenance and preventative measures. And then, of course, Friday, that's the contingency plan. That is if shit goes sideways. What happens if it still doesn't work? What happens if she continues to get out of pocket? So next week is Train Your Woman Week here at TSR Towers. I am very, very much looking forward to next week. I've got it all set up. It's all structured. It's all organized. And don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong here. We all want to be able to fuck a lot of pretty girls. There's no question about that. But I've lived that life before. And I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy it or that I regret it, but the life I live now, at least for right now, it is far more fulfilling. Being a single guy was great. Sticking your dick in new pussy was great. But when you have one woman that you can rely on, kind of, sort of, a woman that elevates your life in more ways than one, which is just sex, it really and truly can make your life much more fulfilling. So be sure to tune in next week. Long-term relationship. I don't know if I'm going to call it Train Your Woman Week. I'll come up with something. But you do not want to miss next week's shows. I'm going to take you from A to Z on how to train your female. You do not want to miss it next week. And then, of course, I'll be releasing companion Patreon videos to supplement that. Back in my early 20s, I was invited to a meeting by a friend of mine. He said it was a lucrative business opportunity. So I figured, what the hell? I'll go and see what this is about. Turns out it was yet another pyramid scheme being peddled by some fake celebrity, right? Or some low-level high roller who had given up his 7-figure income to pursue this incredible opportunity to become rich beyond my wildest dreams and be my own boss. We've all heard of these at some point in our lives. Now, the one thing that stuck out to me, aside, of course, from the terrible acting and the fake applause from the audience, were all the slogans and acronyms this dude was throwing out every 15, 20 seconds. Every one of these bullshit acronyms he threw out made these people even more excited to throw their money away, while simultaneously making fools out of themselves in front of their family and friends. The word poor was acronymized as passing over opportunities repeatedly, as if to say that the reason people were poor or broke was because they didn't get involved with these kinds of pyramid schemes. Unlike the brilliant people at the meeting who were not poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly. Even though I wasn't really as hip to the script as I am now, guys, dude, I could sniff out a hustle a mile away. It was all complete bullshit. Well, obviously I ended up not signing up. But thinking back on that night made me realize that there are a number of slogans that we as people have accepted as gospel truth for no other reason but that we have heard them our entire lives. But if you break these things down and if you really think about them, you'll find that a lot of them don't really make much sense, and some of them are even just flat out lies. They're just false. Now, we've all heard expressions like beggars can't be choosers and better late than never since we were kids. These things have been around forever. Now, while there is some truth in some of these things, there are quite a few that are complete bullshit. And what a lot of men don't realize is that these things are holding them back and will continue to do so until we see them for what they really are and eliminate them from our thought process. But here's the thing, guys. What most of these things have in common is that females accept these as hard and fast truths regardless of context or circumstance. Guys, listen, that fact alone should set off our alarm bells. But because we're raised to believe that women are infallible, right? What do? We dismiss the basic instinct not to put our trust in a woman's intellect or rationale. Now, believing in bullshit sayings because they make sense linguistically or poetically, that's par for the course for women, right? This is actually one of the easiest ways to hack a woman's brain, is to make them believe to make them believe anything. Give anything an acronym, right, of some sort of ironic poetry that strokes a female's ego, and they'll believe anything. Doesn't matter what it is. And listen, you see it all the time in advertising. You see it in all the ridiculous memes they post, all the ridiculous Facebook postings. There's always some acronym or some sort of inverse poetic, some sort of poetic symmetry. But again, we expect this from women. But as men, we have the ability to see through this bullshit and make up our own minds. But we're not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you guys 7 of the most prevalent words of wisdom that are complete and utter bullshit. Here we go. Number 1, karma. Now, another variation of this fallacy is called what goes around comes around. Now, this particular maxim, this particular proverb states that if you are a good person, you do right by people and live a good life, then you will be rewarded with a good life and good things will happen to you. On the other side, if you are a bad person and you do bad things, you'll live a terrible life and bad things will happen to you. Well, the reason why this proverb is untrue is because there's no such thing as karma. Guys, listen, there are a lot of people out here who do a lot of good things who continually get shit on by life. No matter how much good they do, life continues to kick them square in the fucking balls, guys. That actually gave birth to the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished. If no good deed goes unpunished, then where's this karma supposed to be? We've all heard that, right? No good deed goes unpunished. Well, if what goes around really did come back around, if there really such a thing as some cosmic force that keeps everything in balance, that rights all wrongs and vice versa, then good deeds would most certainly not go unpunished, right? There is no greater example, gentlemen, that shines a light on the outright erroneousness of the concept of karma than today's sexual marketplace. We as men, we are told that the better we treat women, the better they treat us. If we are loyal to them, they will be loyal to us. If you have had any experience with women whatsoever, then you know there is no such thing as karma. In fact, it is quite the opposite, because most women respond more favorably to poor treatment from men. Unappreciative, disrespectful, and even abusive men, they enjoy more success with women than men who are respectful, accommodating, gentlemanly, and provide. What goes around comes around is also a statement that people cling to in order to cope with a wrong that's been done to them. If a girl cheats on a guy, he'll keep repeating this. He'll keep repeating it to himself. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. To make himself feel better about the fact she's getting pounded out by someone who isn't him. Women use karma as an excuse for bad behavior, right? They'll go fuck their boyfriend's best friend and chalk it up to karma because he was so rude to me the other night, so he totally deserved it. Hashtag karma. Now, some guys might ask, well, what about O.J. Simpson, Donovan? He got away with murder, but then he went to jail for like a decade. Wrong, meathead red pill guy. O.J. was in jail. O.J. went to jail because he trusted the wrong people and allowed those people to lead him into an obvious trap. Had O.J. exercised better judgment, he would have spent the last 9 years in Vegas up to his eyeballs in women and cocaine instead of cleaning the prison toilets up in Lovelock, Nevada. Don't get me wrong, guys. No, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to mistake me. I am a firm believer in that for every sequence, there is a consequence. If you drive drunk enough time, guys, eventually you're going to get caught. If you work hard at your craft, you will get better. But the difference between that and karma is that these are things you have control over. But if you screw someone over or get screwed over, whatever happens after that has little to do with what you did or what got done to you. Shit happens, guys. People get away with murder and other terrible things, and people suffer terrible things when they've done mostly good in their lives. That's all there is to it. Men who believe in karma are weak, lazy-minded cowards. They'd rather let the universe handle things because they're too scared to handle it on their own by taking control of their own lives. There is no such thing as karma. Here's another one that I want you to point out, or that I want to point out. Hey, Dev, can you come get me some water? Man, I'm dying over here. Appreciate it. Number 2, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. We've all heard that one. This is a big one in the black community. Now, no one really knows where this started or what it means, but my guess is that someone probably said it during a conversation because it makes sense in an inverse. Thank you. But because it makes sense in an inverse poetic way, it's stuck. Guys, here are the facts. There are a lot of people who don't really stand for much of anything. They are selfish people who are only in it for themselves and are always asking, what's in it for me, when surveying any particular situation. This particular breed of human is normally very financially shrewd. They're extremely calculated and only look out for themselves and a small group of people closest to them. But the characteristic that defines these people the most, they are impossible to get over on. They're impossible to screw over. You can't scam these people. They see right through bullshit. And they are highly skeptical. What does this mean? They don't fall for anything. So just because something sounds great lyrically or has an ironic polarity when you say it out loud, stand, fall, that doesn't mean it's true. And this particular axiom is a prime example. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything is 100% bullshit. Oh man, I'm dried out today. Ooh. Here's another one. You've got to give respect to get respect. False. Respect is earned, not given. Funny thing is that 99% of the mouths that I've heard come out of this are female. As we all know, females really aren't good for much of anything these days outside of sex. So it stands to reason that they say this knowing full well that they don't possess the qualities or characteristics worthy of the respect that they demand. Something else to consider is that men who disrespect women seem to get the most respect from said women. Crazy how that works, right? And consider this. Women are confusing respect with liking someone. Just because you don't like someone doesn't mean you don't respect them. A lot of people hate their bosses, guys, but they respect them. Yeah, but he only respects his boss because he's his boss. He didn't do anything to earn it. Yes, he did. He rose through the ranks and became a fucking boss. He earned that title, meaning he earned that respect. Just because you didn't sign off on it doesn't mean he ain't got it. It's the same with women. I don't have my girl voice. A woman who says, I don't respect men who hit women, yeah, you do. If your man put your hands on you, and no, I do not endorse, nor do I condone hitting a woman, but if his man puts his hands on a woman, he earns her respect. She might not like him. He might go to jail. He might have a criminal record. Okay? But she will respect him. She definitely doesn't like getting hit, but she definitely respects him. OJ used to beat Nicole's ass all the time. She ain't like him very much, but she respected his ass. You want to know how I know? Because she won't disrespect him again. No, Donovan, that's fear. Yes, sweetheart, that is fear. And respect and fear, in a lot of cases, go hand in fucking hand. If you fear someone, you respect them. I'm here to tell you. You might not want to. You might not like the fact that you respect people you fear, but you fucking do. So the next time a female utters this particular falsehood, ignore her. Because she probably respects the men who disrespect her the most. Here's another one. Don't be so hard on yourself. Now, to be fair, this isn't completely false, right? I mean, there are times and situations where people can be they can be much more hard on themselves than they really need to be. And that can be a hindrance on your progress. But once again, this is another slogan used mostly by women, and the reason for this is that they make terrible decisions and engage in stupid and irresponsible behavior almost daily. Right? A girl gets fucked and chucked for the third time this week. Don't be so hard on yourself. Mr. Right is out there somewhere. You just got to keep looking. A girl gets fired for missing too many days. Don't be so hard on yourself. That job was never right for you anyway, and your boss had it in for you. A woman's kid gets kicked out of daycare because of bad behavior. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're a great mother. While it is important not to beat yourself up for too long over something, it is equally important to hold yourself accountable. Being hard on yourself is also being honest with yourself, guys. As men, we have the ability to say, I fucked up because I fucked up, and that's that, and we move on. Females have to hamster whatever they have to to be able to sleep at night. The most successful men in the world are extraordinarily hard on themselves, guys, and they almost live in a constant state of malcontent. Such is the mindset of a dominant man who is kicking life's ass. Here's another one. I love this one. Blood is thicker than water. This is another one, another big one in the black community. Blood is thicker than water. The Reader's Digest version is that you should always put family first because they are your blood. But anyone over the age of, 20, 25 knows that family members, they will fuck you over quicker than people not related to you by blood. Straight up, they will. I speak from personal experience, man. My own mom has fucked me over many times. This particular saying is usually used when one family member is trying to borrow money, trying to keep you around, or any number of things they might have up their sleeve. I'm not suggesting that it's used this way all the time, but I've seen and heard this way too much not to include it on this particular list. Yes, guys, blood is thicker than water, physically, but it has nothing to do with what it means. And just because you're related to someone by blood, that does not obligate you to favor them. If a family member has fucked you over multiple times and one of your best friends has not, you will gravitate towards your best friend as a matter of survival and common sense. Here's another one. You can't always judge a book by its cover. I remember, I was probably 18, 19 years old. And I was driving to the store with my youngest brother, 6 years younger than I am. Smart kid. Anyway, we saw this dude driving a gold, tricked out Acura Legend, right? Had these shiny rims, had the boom system and all that. He pulls into the gas station we were at. And when he pulled up, there was a dude that came in and leaned into his window for a few seconds. They exchanged something, and then he left. I remember saying jokingly to my youngest brother, man, I'm in the wrong business. And my brother responded, how do you know what he does? He could be a doctor, he said indignantly. Calmly, I said, maybe, but would you trust him if he were your doctor? My youngest brother fell silent and shrugged his shoulders in agreement. The fact of the matter is, guys, is that we all judge people by the way they look and act. A man in a suit who is well-spoken gets treated better than a man in tattered clothes. Common sense. Women who are dressed modestly are looked upon with more respect than women who are dressed as sluts. It should come as no surprise that females who spew this garbage far more than males, right? They're the biggest hypocrites when it comes to judging books, as they dismiss men as possible suitors solely on the way he looks, dresses, and speaks. If the man dressed in tattered clothes approaches her to strike up conversation, she's got every right to dismiss him. Right? This isn't a bad thing because their biological hard drives are programmed to weed out weak, low-value men. But the pendulum swings both ways, sweetheart. If that high-value man in a suit sees an unfit woman in his presence, woman dressed like a slut, he quickly makes the judgment that she has no discipline, she is unattractive, and would be a terrible significant other, as the cover of her book tells him everything he needs to know about her within the context of a sexual relationship. Now, obviously, this reeks of social justice warriors droppings, right? These people would have us believe that abandoning all common sense and personal sensibilities would make the world a better place, when they're the first to lock their doors if they see a dude with sleeve tattoos wearing a hoodie walking down the street. I watched this show called The Resident. Very, very good show. Very good medical show. It's based out of Atlanta. And there was this one episode where a girl wanders into the ER. She's got some sort of psychotic break, right? She's got on tattered clothes. It looked like she didn't have any insurance. So the CEO of the hospital is like, we need to get her out of here immediately. She obviously she doesn't have insurance. She's not going to be able to pay it, blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out that the girl was a part of a very, very rich family. So, like super rich. They had a $140,000 handbag, I think. Dr. Okafor, I don't know what the name was, Modigliani. And so at the end of the show, see? Dr. Bell, you can't always judge a book by its cover. We thought she was homeless. She smelled bad, hadn't showered. But you see, you can't always judge a book by its cover. That's the outlier situation. And as we all know, the exception never makes the rule, guys. Listen, are there people out here who are more than meets the eye? Sure. There are people out here who are well off financially but live a relatively modest lifestyle. And we also know that men who know all the pickup lines but couldn't pass a shit test even if he knew it was coming. But again, those are all the exceptions to the rule. And as we all know, once again, the exception doesn't make the rule. So can you always judge a book by its cover? No. But you can most of the time. Number 7, and I've got a few more of these. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Back when I lived in Vegas, my best friend in college used to come visit me with his wife every summer. Now, back in the day, back when we were both in college, dude, he was more red pill than anyone I knew. He treated girls like absolute dog shit, and they fucking loved him for it. He got married right out of college, and it did not take long for his wife to tame him. Long story short, guys, she turned him into a beta male in no time flat. And every time we all got together, the vice she has on his balls gets squeezed just a little bit tighter. Needless to say, she doesn't like me very much because I used to represent the life he could have without her. We're not even friends anymore. She made him change his number, took away his phone. I haven't talked to him since the last time he came to Vegas, or he visited me in Vegas. Anytime I would tell them a story about this chick or that, she'll shoot him this glance over to him that says, you see that? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Now, this particular falsity, sounds as though it were specifically designed to keep blue pill men unaware of how awesome his life would be if he took the red pill. As if giving feminism the finger, getting fit, saving money, learning game, and sleeping with beautiful women is a bad alternative to being married to a fat, bitchy female who will divorce rape you the minute she gets the 7-year itch. Now, in a red pill context, the grass is always greener on the other side. The red pill lifestyle is more gratifying than living in the Matrix, and men here, you guys know this very well. Yes, sometimes a new situation isn't all it's cracked up to be, and yes, it can sometimes burn you to venture out into what you believe to be greener pastures. But there's another proverb that flies in the face of this one that every man should internalize and live by, and that is fortune favors the bold. Here's a few more supplemental that I'll throw in here. You can't love someone unless you love yourself. Now, I'm not sure where this one came from, but I bet the farm that was probably coined by a woman. Now, women who are notoriously insecure and are utterly incapable of loving themselves for any number of reasons, they fall in love all the time. My guess is that they probably use this bullshit expression, you can't love someone unless you love yourself, when breaking up with a guy with the typical, it's not you, it's me, and I don't love me, so I can't love you. Either way, self-love isn't required to express or feel love, and they know that. Age ain't nothing but a number. Another one by females. You know, it's funny. Age doesn't really seem to matter to females when they're underage and sleeping with men twice their age, or when they're past the wall and embracing the cougar lifestyle. But the minute they see a man dating a younger, tighter version of them, they're always the first ones who call him a pedophile. Typical. Here's another one. Don't put too many irons in the fire, right? Don't busy yourself with too many. Listen, a man should never stop looking for ways to improve himself and better a situation, right? Like, listen, I use myself as an example, right? I have a podcast. I lift weights. I'm in a long-term relationship. I'm working on a book. I'm working on a course. There's all sort of, dude, I'm going to get back into riding my bike again. There's all sorts of things that I'm looking to do. Don't get me wrong. A man does have to take time to rest and recharge his batteries, but as long as he masters the art of time management and take advantage of his downtime, he can have as many irons in the fire as he wants. The last one I'll point out is the squeaky wheel always gets the grease. This is another falsehood used by women when complaining about what they're not getting. Rather than going out and getting his attention the right way by being kind, acting feminine, taking pride in her personal appearance, women are taught that bitching and complaining all the time is the best way to get what they want from us. They'd rather gripe about the promotion they didn't get rather than working hard and actually earning it. Like I said, guys, there are plenty of proverbs out there that do make sense. Never bite off more than you can chew. That one comes to mind. Think before you speak. But it would behoove men to just stop and take a look at the slogans and the mantras that we've been privy to our entire lives and break them down. That way you can decide for yourself if there's any truth to them. I'll say it again, man. Just because it's clever, just because it's poetic, just because it makes sense acronomically, just because it's an acronym, just because it rhymes, just because there's polarity, just because there's linguistic polarity, that doesn't make it true. A man should never believe everything he sees and hears. Leave that to women. It is important to keep in mind that there are shreds of truth embedded in some of these conjectures, albeit very minimal. We get that. But as men, we should be keenly aware that most conventional wisdom comes from a culture steeped in feminism. That's going to be extremely damaging to men. Case in point, happy wife, happy life. So the next time you hear or you see one of these so-called words of wisdom, take a step back, take a moment, and really think about what it says and decide for yourself whether or not it benefits you as a man. If you do this enough, you will quickly see most of them probably do not. Big thanks goes out to Coco Bear MMA with the $5 super chat. He says, blood is thicker than water, but gold is thicker than both. Is my response to that one. Great show today. Appreciate that, Coco Bear. Appreciate that. If you guys want to support the show, you don't even have to do it on the podcast. You can actually go to www.streamlabs.com/DonovanSharpe1. If you want to support the show, but also get some product, you can buy tactical soap through my affiliate link. I'm putting that in the chat now. If you're looking for a way to chill out, CBD oil. Buy that also through my affiliate link. This way you can support the show and get a little something for yourself. Great show today. Big thanks go out to my super chatters, Javon Smiley, Latino Manosphere, a.k.a. Miami J, Motorcycle Harry, Lewis Key back in the house. Man, I haven't seen you since I haven't seen him since I was in the episode 100s. Good to see you back online. I'm Hotep Hook with a $5 super chat. And of course, Coco Bear MMA. I appreciate the support, guys. Remember, guys, next week is Train Your Woman Week. I'm going to take you from point A to point Z on how to build a female of quality. You do not want to miss these shows. Monday through Friday. I'm normally on Monday through Thursday, but because I'm going to be missing a few days because of the 21 convention, it's going to be Monday through Friday. I'm going to teach you from top to bottom how to build a female of quality from the ground up. You do not want to miss this show. That's going to do it for this edition of TSR Live. Be sure to tune in next week, Monday through Friday between 1 and 3 Eastern. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.